When I started Bharath Hospital, one of the things my DNA told me very clearly, you can spend millions of dollars, but nobody is going to come and give you. Ajaikumar is doing a great job, here is the money. We are a very discontent people. Discontentment is what drives me.
There have been several instances where you have faced opposition from colleagues themselves.
And they had a meeting behind me and they called an expert financial advisor. How do we throw this Ajaikumar out? Corruption, nepotism, everything I faced boldly because I was very confident. In India, the bureaucracy is choking. Why are people going abroad? Why are people doing research abroad? Why is there little research? Because it's getting choked. Money is very powerful.
Yeah.
Money dictates, money overrides any friendship, any trust, relatives, everything, majority of the time. So the entire journey has been, whatever happens, like I said, in front of injustice, I will not bow my head. You know, in life, you believe in something, Aditya, you have to go after it.
In the previous episode, we discussed several aspects and anecdotes from Dr. Ajai's incredible life journey. We continue our conversation today by touching upon more such incidents that have shaped his legacy and the life lessons we can draw from them. Doctor, the next topic that I want to discuss, there are two parts to it. The first thing I would like to quote a shloka from Mahabharata. I think which is also is one of your favorite books, yes. I guess. Ahani ahani bhutani gacchanti yamalayam shesha sthavaramicchanti kim ascharyam matpara. This is from the Yaksha Prashna chapter of Mahabharata. Yeah. You took a trip to Mount Everest, to the Himalayas with Bhagya in the year 1985. And then there was an unfortunate incident unfolded. The tour guide, An Pesang, Sherpa An Pesang, he passed away mysteriously in front of your eyes. And I'm sure that, there must have been some reflection of, this tragic passing away. So could you please elaborate what is the correlation between the incident and then this particular verse that I quoted?
I think the most important thing is sometimes we see unexpected things. Things don't go as planned, but still we learn from it. There is nothing like what you pre-plan doesn't lay out like that all the time. And how do you address that? And there are amazing things which happen. This Anpasang story was essentially, he became very attached to me, particularly to Bhagya. When we started our journey from Darjeeling to Kanchenjunga base camp, he used to carry all our stuff, do things. We crossed through Sikkim, went into Nepal, and amazing guy. And we used to sleep sometimes in a tent, sometimes in a house. He would go ahead and arrange everything. And then suddenly, I don't know what happened, when we were in this place called Taplechang, I wanted to go. Next step was the base camp. And then he went out saying that he is going to go to some village function. And we were in the tent. Then suddenly he came back, and in the morning when we were ready to go, he said he is vomiting. And his assistant would come, he'll get better by evening. I said, okay, then you stay here. So we went up to the base camp. But unfortunately, we had carried all our tent and all. Unfortunately, it was cloudy. So the assistant said, let us stay here. And we didn't have any water. We took ice, boiled, made water, cooked something, and stayed there. It was fantastic. Morning 4 o'clock, it was beautiful. We could touch the Himalayas. And even Mount Everest, everything was so close by. We took some pictures, we walked around there, and he said, let's go. As we were walking down, in one of the camps, means one of the small village outpost, guy said, hey, by the way, your Sherpa is very sick. My God, I said, I got really worried. We rushed down and he was bleeding like crazy. So there were no cars. I mean, it is in the foothills of the mountains. only the plane would come. So I tried to arrange a plane for him, and it wouldn't come for 2 days. They can't come. And then weather conditions and others. Then I called the headquarters of where I had hired the Sherpa, the Britishers who was running it. He said, don't worry. I said, what do you mean, don't worry? I have to somehow save him. And we put a tube, sucked out his blood, gave him IV, couldn't get blood. I was willing to give my blood. Bhagya was willing to, but we couldn't do the transfusion without cross-matching. And all he could say was, in the end, sorry, Saab, I couldn't come with you to the top. And he died. So that has left permanent mark on us in terms of life in general, and what we expect, and some other things that happen. So it has always been in our journey in future. And Bhagya after that didn't want to stay. She became emotional. I don't want to do anymore. I want to go back. And so, and then we waited for and the whole thing was in few hours they had actually buried him. That we were trying to take away all the valuable. He had a teacup which was very precious for him. So I somehow retrieved the teacup. And when we came back to Kathmandu, we gave it to met the family, gave it to them, gave them some money also, talked to this commander. He said, you did more than what you should do. I said, what do you mean? He's a human life. He was a friend of ours. See, that is another thing. We look upon people as though they were our Sherpa. It is not so. When you really know, they become your friends. In my view, this is my view on life. See, we all have schoolmates. When you do business with them, sometimes our relatives, a lot of times it don't go well, and permanently we fracture. But when you meet somebody through this professional thing, like a guide or a business partner or a investment partner, they become your friend. It's more sustainable. See, it is kind of reverse of what human psychology is. So that is what I believe in now. This Anpasang story, other stories, even in my business, trying to put up HCG, a lot of people came across. And a lot of them have become my friends because the way they connect and their attitudes towards life and all. So I learned a lot from them.
Right. And also you traveled across the country to study the situation of cancer care. And then that's when you came across an incident in Bhopal. I think that was a life-turning point for you.
Two incidences. In Bhopal, I was going to a hospital and I saw this, trying to understand the cancer care in India. In the train I went, bus, all the things I did. So there was another doctor with me. He said, so we've interviewed a woman carrying a baby. And he said, what happened? Oh, she has got a big tumor in the abdomen. So what are they doing? Oh, they are trying to give a cobalt therapy. How long are you waiting? For 5 hours. How long did you wait yesterday? 10 hours. So I went and saw the equipment. It was broken down. I said, here is this lady waiting for 10 hours to get this treatment. And the child is not likely to well, very rudimentary treatment. What are we? What kind of a nation we are? And that is when I said, government alone cannot do. That is when I decided I have to do multiple centers, not just one center. Then there's another incident. I had started my Mysore Hospital in 1989, Bharath Hospital, which is a not-for-profit. Then this lady in a white sari, I had come to India for a visit. In 1991 or 22. And the Mother Teresa's community church had brought a lady, and white sari but full of blood. I said, I was visiting at the hospital. I said, what happened? No, she's bleeding. Please take care of her. We are from the church. I said, sure, we'll take care. So she had a cervix cancer. I made sure we treat her well. I told my team and all. Then 15 days later, when I was about to go back to America, I saw the same white sari, clean, everything, standing and waving at me. I said, she's doing very good. The bleeding has stopped. And she has a smile on her face. See, that made me think I have to come back to India. This is what I have to do. This is what my vision is. This is what should be my mission, whatever words you want to call. Ultimately, this is why I have to come back. You can make a change.
Yeah.
And the knowledge I have, the way I have practiced, the way I look at each patient, I think that made a big difference for me to move back to India as quickly as possible.
Yes.
And face whatever hurdles, corruption, nepotism, everything I faced boldly because I was very confident. Whatever happens, man, I'm going to make it happen.
I think your journey to starting the hospital started with you traveling for about 300 miles in Chicago, where the then Chief Minister had visited, was on a visit to the US. Oh, okay. Okay. So, but then, you had a very detailed proposal of how you want to, have the setup here in Karnataka state. And then they all laughed at the proposal.
Well, they didn't laugh. One Mr. A.K. Ramanujam, a famous writer, he was a close friend of my brother and he had also become friends with me. He liked my idea about going to India, doing things. He was a chair of South Asian Studies in Chicago.
Okay.
Very famous person. And he called me and said, look, the chief minister, couple of ministers, chief secretary are all coming to Chicago. I want to introduce you to them so they can help you with setting up a center. So I left my practice at 2 o'clock, drove to 3 hours, came to and met Professor Ramanujam at the Indian consulate, and he said, come on, let's go and meet, and went inside, introduced me to Ramakrishna Hegde. And then there was one Mr. Murthy. He said, doctor, you need any help? Here is my card, you asked. He was a chief secretary. I had kept the card. Then Mr. Ramanujam was very disappointed. He said, I'm sorry, Ajai, I made you come 3 hours for nothing. It is really bad. Now that gave me the determination. Here is this guy telling that, it's okay, you don't. I said, what? I have traveled across. I have seen what Indian oncology is. What is it talking? It needs. So that gave me further push. So when I came to India, started looking for land, I went through quite a bit. Because I didn't understand the corruption was so bad. Because we are all being in US for a while also, we become very straightforward thinkers. We don't think about corruption for registering a land or getting land. But there was so much, I was so frustrated, I was called Mr. Murthy. So Murthy, you had given me your number, I may want to look, this is first. He said, what do you want, doctor? Come. So I went to his Vidhana Saudha place. He was very, very nice. He said, you want land? Forget this. This is going to be litigation, lot of years. Forget it. Whatever land government has allotted. And even today, by the way, it's still there. And he said, you take an industrial land on the outskirts of Mysore, build it. Outskirts of Mysore. He said, don't worry, it will grow, take it. So I took it, about 8 acres. And today that is where our Bharath Hospital is doing very good. And, I ran the hospital for a year without electricity and generator because I refused to bribe. So the entire journey has been, whatever happens, like I said, in front of injustice, I will not bow my head. If somebody wants me to do something, take a shortcut, I will not take. And that is the ethos and philosophy with which we have done all the hospitals. Okay, and I'm very proud of it. And that is when Mr. Ramakrishna Hegde said, what we have Kidwa. I said, I will not take 1 rupee from you. I will not take 1 inch of land. I told Mr. Ramanujam, Professor Ramanujam, I will not take any government help. I will do it on my own. So I am one of the few hospitals today, private hospitals at a national chain, where we have not taken any help from government. If you ask any other hospital, they say, we got a land, we got this unit, we are not taken. Right. And I made it a point. Then I don't have to fear anyone.
The bureaucracy gets into the picture.
And also you prove your point. In life, you believe in something, Aditya, you have to go after it. You cannot take shortcuts. So I always tell my people, if you, people come to me, road builders, real estate, corruption is rampant. Other day, one real estate agent where we were trying to negotiate a place said, "Sir, how can I do without bribing occupation certificate?" I said, "Look here, Vishwanath, you have to live with it, man. You are not poor. You are well-to-do. Stand for your beliefs and say, I will not give. Let us see what happens."
Right.
You know, once we were supposed to get a liver transplant approval. One of the minister, I won't name anyone, was highly corrupt. He wanted certain things. And the person who was helping me was former chief secretary. He said, he told the secretary under the minister that, Dr. Ajaikumar will never bribe. You should support the party. He will not do. Then he will not sign. The minister said no. So the chief secretary told him, you have to sign. Actually, it requires your signature. Pull the file and sign it. So I got the liver transplant approval without anything by signing. So, but I had to use my contacts.
I know.
Why should anybody use contact, Aditya?
Yeah,
It is a simple thing to do. See, in India, the bureaucracy is choking the system so much. It is unbelievable. Why are people going abroad? Why are people doing research abroad? Why is there little research? Because it's getting choked. Even Infosys or Wipro are all not researchers. They're original. They're body shoppers. They don't do original because they don't have the patience. They look at even drug companies don't do new drugs very rarely because they look at quarter to quarter. They're copycats. Because where is the research? Somebody in US, UK has to do. Because that is where a lot of money is being spent. New drugs come. So I want to, later on we can talk about these new drugs and all too. But it is very disheartening. We have the mental capacity. Today Indians, like I always say, are running Microsoft, Google, IBM, World Bank. We are very capable people, very intelligent. Why are you not given an opportunity in India? Because of the system. System chokes you.
Right. So Bharath Hospital is a non-profit entity. But then you decided to set up a for-profit hospital, which is the Bangalore Institute of Oncology, along with few doctors. But I believe there were issues. It was going under loss after some time, and then you had to come back and take charge as the chairman. And then you turned the table, turned things around. So how did that journey happen?
See, as any doctor with certain idealism, I wanted to do a non-profit. But at the same time, I said, let me try a for-profit hospital also, see which one does better. So two were started almost same time.
It was more of an experimental, the for-profit one.
And when I started Bharath Hospital, one of the things my DNA told me very clearly, you can spend millions of dollars, but nobody is going to come and give you. Ajaikumar is doing a great job, here is the money. So one hospital is enough non-profit because it has to self-sustain itself. Where is the money going to come? Where are you going to generate? You go and ask people, give me some donation. That's not my DNA. So I said, I don't ask anybody. So Bharath Hospital, I left it in Mysore. Very nice hospital, funded by me. But when I started for profit, the idea was people who can afford should pay. People who cannot afford subsidize, cross-subsidy. To first hospital, Bangalore. At that time, interest rates were very high. So I got, fortunately, Siemens helped me. Nobody in India helped me. Siemens, bankers didn't help me. Siemens helped me at 4% interest rate. But what happened was, in the beginning, in 1990s, somehow the doctor partners of mine had borrowed money at high interest rates. 24% interest rate. And some of them were also taking salaries. So I said, I came and saw it, I said, and I had funded some of it, I had given money for them. I said, this is not possible. He said, what do you mean? You can't take salaries. You can't do all that. You have got a bank is knocking on your door. How are you going to service? This hospital will close. I said, oh really? Yeah, it will close. So what should we do? You leave it to me. So I became chairman. I took control, appointed some good professionals. And one of the person who was chairman of Vijaya College, Mr. Sundar Rajan, came as an executive director. Very good in terms of making sure things are calculated well, everything. So we control the cost, did lot of things. But idea brought up by Dr. Ramesh, Kilara, Gopinath, Vishnu was good in private first cancer center. I was also going to start one. So we decided to come together. It made sense. But it wouldn't have survived.
Yeah.
Very few people thought it would survive. I don't want to name people, but lot of big people said this will fail. But I wanted to make sure, like I did, that this will succeed, whatever happens. So I funded, and they cleared all the loan. And the bad thing was when you go to clear the loan to bank, which was charging you 20%, skimming you, there's a penalty to early payment.
Yeah, I know.
What crazy! So we had to pay penalty. We got out of all this nonsense.
Yeah.
And then we said, no more of this. No more. So we grew after that very well.
Yeah.
And as you know, it has become HCG today.
Yeah.
And primarily because we took that firm stand
Yeah.
that, we stand by certain principles.
Yes.
We stand for patient care.
Yes.
Cross subsidy is important. And not ask anybody for donations. See, contrary to lot of trust hospitals, lot of other hospitals ask for money to say, oh, give me a donation, give me this, we don't. We have a foundation. If you want to help patients, you give it to the foundation. That can help patients subsidy. But we don't really ask anything else.
Right. Right.
And that has given pride for us, even for our people. See, the pride factor is important. So it has given a lot of pride for us.
Yeah. Right. There was an episode in your life, I think it is to do with the Bharath Hospital. It is more very cinematic when I was reading. It is how you fought against the union workers. So I think I would like you to, just speak about a little bit because, it came to such a point that you had to drive an ambulance.
Yeah, it was fun. But I'll tell you,
Okay.
like I said, I'm very positive. I make it a fun thing.
Yeah.
I got an opportunity
Life
to drive.
humors you.
I drive it myself. So why not?
Yeah.
So this all happened because our CEO was Mr. Ranganath, very good guy, running it like a strictly. And then some of the employees said we should have our own union, Bharath Hospital. It's a non-profit. So when I got a call that they want to form a union, I said no. Then the labor commissioner, IAS officer, was also happened to be my St. Joseph's classmate,
Okay.
Lucas Veluthar. He called me and said, Ajai, you have to agree for a union. I said, not at all.
You were in India at that time?
I was in
and
US.
You were in US.
I said, not at all. So I came, tried to settle it. It was ongoing. Our CEO was kind of concerned. There was a Gero of the CEO.
Oh.
Once I left back, they acted funny, everything. So I said, there was one guy who was the leader. 3 guys, one of them was the top leader. I talked to him. Look here, Devraj, you are so good. You can be a politician, man. You can be a leader. Why are you stuck in this small hospital?
You tried a good way.
No, honestly, I meant it. I will support you. You can do all that. He said, no, I want this union. So then one great union leader called me, Mr. Varghese of India. If you don't agree, I will bring 10,000 people and gero the hospital. I said, Mr. Varghese, please bring 10,000 people. What do you mean? My hospital will become popular. I need that popularity right now. He was still shocked. What? So I then come back to US. I said, okay, I'll create a plan to break this. So I thought through this and I created a very simple. See, for me, simplicity is important. Who is the leader? This is the leader. What do I want to do? What are the consequences? I should precipitate a strike. And then make sure they all walk out. When they walk out, they don't get salary. So let us see how long it goes and we'll run the hospital, whatever happens. And my brother was like, oh, you will not happen. Maybe you have to give it away to somebody else to run. They can manage. So there were a lot of negativism.
Yes.
So more negativism it came, I became more positive.
Yeah.
My usual mantra.
Yeah.
More negative, more positive. So I took up on it and this guy, there was one manager called Pratap. I told Pratap, this guy, they were nice, abusive to you, document all that. And when he comes late one day, you just sack him on this particular day. And that is the day I'm arriving in India. So on that day, promptly he was sacked. I arrived in Mysore, everybody went on strike. Oh, they were now has been sacked, so we'll all go on strike.
There was press coverage also.
Yeah, plenty of press coverage.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the press coverage. So all of them walked out. Bharath Hospital on strike. Then I put together a team and started. We all cleaned the place. Patients' families helped to clean the place, do cooking and all that. For almost a month we survived.
1 month.
And then what happened was the ambulance driving. I had to drive some days to pick up patients, staff. And then they said Dikara to chairman and all that. They said everything. They used to sleep on the ground to prevent me from driving. I said all of that is fine. Then what they did bad was towards the end they hit our ambulance driver. He had a head injury.
Okay.
So we filed a case and they put few leaders behind bars. Then that fear came, oh, this is going to go on long, what do? I'm not getting my salary, what are my livelihood? So I said, yeah, you have a choice. What choice I have? You can come and sign, I'll not be a union member, I'll work for hospital, come in. So one by one they came, all 200 people came.
Okay.
And from that day onwards, I tell you, there has been nothing like a union. All are very healthy, very happy staff. If you come to Mysore, you see. And it is really a lesson how to handle these kind of strikes, because if you don't believe. So I was very simple. This is not a profit-making hospital.
Yeah.
Charity. What unions you want?
Yeah.
Man, if you want to go and find a job, man.
Yeah.
And otherwise, come here if you want to. So we not only provide jobs, they want a union also.
Yeah.
And we don't. So
In general, what's your opinion about these?
see, I think there is a place for everything. When people are exploited, yes, there is a need for unity, union and all. But nowadays, majority are paid well and rights are protected. So in those days are gone. I don't think there are union days anymore. But it is good for a protection of the workers. It's a workers' thing for protection. But if the management of the institution is good to them, if they treat them like equal, if they give voice to the workers, if they make sure their concerns are addressed, I don't think there's a need for you.
Right, absolutely. And also, as a docpreneur, there have been several instances where you have faced opposition from colleagues themselves. I think this includes when you decided to take over Curie Center under BIO.
Yeah.
Is that correct? And also when you chose to expand both Curie Care and HC, I think Curie Care and BIO under HCG.
Correct.
So there were a lot of opposition. So how did you push through these challenges, especially when it comes from colleagues and your known ones?
See, that is why I say all doctors are not entrepreneurs.
Okay.
See, doctors started Bangalore Institute of Oncology. When I wanted to acquire Curie, they said, oh no, it is going to add competition and all. It is actually going to expand us. So then when it came to HCG, I told them at a meeting that I want to expand across the India. There is a need, we'll do HCG. So they put their hand on their head and said, oh, what about my children? We may lose everything, family. Leave us alone. Leave BIO alone. And they had a meeting behind me in one of the vice chairman's house. And they called an expert financial advisor. How do we throw this Ajaikumar out? Okay.
There was a plot.
How do we do it?
Yeah.
And the finance person, advisor said, he's 85% owner. There's no way you can throw him out. He can throw you out, but not. Then they understood the problem. But then the actual board meeting, when I was there, they made these comments, leave us alone. We don't leave BIO alone. Why do you want? You start your own centers. We will survive here. I said, okay. By that time, I had applied for some money from private equity, IDF private equity. And so within few weeks after this meeting, a big agreement was done for $10 million. Because one Luis Miranda of them had come to Chicago, met me. He liked me, the ways I did, all the things. He said, doctor, we are not into healthcare, but we'll give you 10 million to see how you do. And we like your passion. Once the money came, all of them came abroad. There were some doctors like Dr. Kilara. Nalini Rao. They supported me.
Yeah.
But others were on the fence and some were opposed. But all of them came, Aditya, and said, please take my shares and give me HCG shares, $10 million. So what I want to say is money is very powerful.
Yeah.
Money dictates, money overrides any friendship, any trust, relatives, everything, majority of the time. There are exceptions. But even in relations we find, if you're well-to-do, if you're wealthy, you suddenly the respect goes up the way they treat you. But if you're not, or if you lose your money, man, you're beaten down. They beat you down like nothing. Failure. See, any business in India you start, if you succeed, you get a pat on your back.
Yeah.
Great success.
Yeah.
But if you fail, you're beaten down.
Yeah.
Your failure is not accepted in India.
Yeah.
Whereas in US and all, when I was there, failure was also accepted as long as you can resurrect and come back. People would say in the meetings, you go to these cocktail meetings and all. I would hear people say in Palo Alto and all, oh, you failed. I spent $10 million. Here is another 10 million. Why don't you do this? So that is how the talk would go. That I like your ideas. But here, if you fail, you're finished. So failure is not celebrated. That is one of the disincentive for entrepreneurs here.
I think it's from the childhood, from the parents, the way they, even for the education.
Security. Everybody wants security. But there is people.
You're being fed those thoughts even from your own parents.
And security is very, in my view, very abstract. What is security? You have to think of, there is there are so many people who have gone bankrupt. So many people from nothing have come up. So when you look at life, how many people among our colleagues die of starvation? Nobody. Yes, maybe your lifestyle changes. You have become a little bit poor. But how do you come out of it is also important. So if you want to have that ethos and say, I'm going to come out of it, majority will come out of it. But it is a challenge. It is your perception rather than anything else.
As an entrepreneur myself, I would like to give a little bit of a context. I have two companies. One is where I'm an entrepreneur, where the format of me running this company is, if at all I need investment, it's through traditional debt financing. And the other model, I am also a co-founder of another company called Clippet.ai, which is a design marketplace where we have got the initial seed round, where we have gone for private equity. Now, as HCG's expansion, so you have gone towards private equity over traditional financing. I think initially it was that. But you also, so that decision of getting into private equity led to both success, and then there were also challenges. In terms of positive side, you got a significant investment from IDFC of about $10 million, then Azim Premji about 40 crore rupees. But then there were some downside to it when these investors, as you told, who withdrew the promised funds, and also some of them were demanding unreasonable, unrealistic returns. So how do you view this whole traditional, the debt financing was private equity? Even for a lot of entrepreneurs out there, they would like to just hear from you.
I think the common thing taught in business schools is debt is more expensive than, equity is more expensive than debt. That's the common thing taught. But in my view, it is a play you have to do depending on the context, and I would personally prefer equity to debt. The reason is, people say it's more expensive, yes, but there is no sword hanging over your neck. See, debt is something you have to pay in a programmed way to the bank or whatever at a high interest rate. Whether your company is doing good or not, they don't care. It is a debt you have to pay. So the way you structure it is important, but you have to pay. Whereas equity is something, you have time. And at the end of 5 years, 6 years, whatever the agreement is, then you are going to kind of sign off, pay them the money. So in my view, the only other disadvantage is in equity, they become your partner. they have a share which could be looked upon as negative, whereas in debt they don't have any shares.
Yeah, right.
So debt is something you return it.
Yeah.
So that is why people like debt
Mm.
to do it. But my view is in the healthcare,
Mm.
where there are so many uncertainties, like we got hit with COVID, lot of things. We had debt at the time, so I had to really clear the debt by getting more equity.
Mm.
So my experience has taught us one thing,
Mm.
that it is better to be bring in more equity at the time you need. But also looking back, you should not, a mistake I did was trying to expand too much.
Mm.
You should not expand too much.
Mm.
Maybe limited expansion. Use your profits once they come. I don't give any dividends.
Yeah.
Use the profit income for further expansion, but
Yeah.
don't really borrow and expand. Either debt or equity, that's the best.
Yeah.
But if you have no choice, if you have to do, I would like to do more of equity and not borrow continuously for the future.
Yeah. Today, HCG has around 26 centers.
Yeah, 26.
Across. Could you just give us the geographical?
Yeah, we have it
reach?
across India. We are very commanding position in Karnataka
Mhm.
with several centers. We have a very good position in Andhra Pradesh
Mhm.
and Orissa.
Mhm.
And we have Madhya Pradesh, one center.
Yeah.
And then Mumbai, we have two centers.
Mhm.
Similarly, we have one center in Calcutta.
Mhm.
And of course, Gujarat is one of our lot of centers we have, 5
Yeah.
centers.
Yeah.
Our whole idea is for us to use a hub and spoke model
Yes.
and
yes.
spread across the country. Nearly 53 crores of people
Mhm.
can access HCG and go and sleep in their own bed. So we have achieved that goal very well
Mm.
using the hub and spoke model.
Yeah.
And it is all centrally managed also. Central tumor board,
Mhm.
central financial management,
Mhm.
a watchdog centrally. Everything is closely monitored.
Yeah.
And this was developed using partners. One of the important thing about HCG is partners.
Yeah.
Like we have a partner in Asta Group in Ahmedabad,
Right.
partner in Nasik, Dr. Raj Nagarkar,
Right. Right.
partner in Nagpur,
Yeah.
Dr. Ajai Mehta.
A very sustainable model.
Yeah, and also Dr. Panda in Orissa.
Mm.
Very sustainable, good model.
Yeah.
Dr. Gopichand in Vijayawada, like
Yeah.
that. It has partner model has worked out very well for us.
Yeah.
And I feel that is for the future. Like private equities don't like that model
Mhm.
because they think
Yeah.
we have to be 100% owner.
Yeah.
But a scale up happens very fast with partner. We
Yes.
recently did one in Vizag with Dr. Murali.
Okay.
Again, a partner model.
Okay. Great. Great. Congratulations and
Thank you.
also all the best for further expansions of HCG.
Thanks.
At one conversation
With,
with your architect friend Amit, what if we become coolies? Why all this fuss about money, success, and a comfortable life? Although this was a very casual conversation, it reflects your belief that if ever circumstances forced you to become a coolie, you will still find a way and then survive and
Yeah.
come out successfully.
I want to talk about two instances, coolie and interview with a beggar.
Okay.
So two things.
Okay.
The coolie thing is, we were walking and we said, okay, near a bus stand.
Mhm.
We said, what if we become a coolie?
Mhm.
We should experience the life.
Mhm.
And both of us started talking about it.
Mhm.
He said, yeah, let's go and do it.
Mhm.
We were very serious.
Mhm.
Then Namit brought up one point.
Mhm.
We should close the door. That means we can no longer come back to this life. Aha. See, in life, experiencing being a coolie is one,
Mhm.
but being a coolie for the rest of your life is another.
Yeah.
That is the point we were making in that conversation.
Mhm.
So we didn't do it because we were not willing to close the door.
Yeah.
So the real experience comes only when you close the door.
Yeah.
When you don't have your MasterCard Visa or any money and you have to live day to day. And in this regard, contentment is important.
Yeah.
Like I always, I did a social media on a person who is a porter in Bangalore railway station.
Porter.
One Mr.
Okay.
Siddharaju or something.
Okay. Okay.
I was going to Vande Bharat train
Mhm.
and I asked him, he asked me, does he need any help?
Mhm.
The whole group. I said, no, I have only one bag, but I like to convert.
Mhm.
I started the conversation. He said, hey, Siddharaj, what is your name, Siddharaj? I said, how much money you make? He said, sir, I make 400 to 500 rupees a day. But I'm very happy. I sleep. I don't have to get up middle of the night. I sleep, get up in the morning, have my breakfast, come and work. I'm very happy. So I took the train and I said, my God, I didn't take his picture. So I told my driver, Madheva, I said, find him, take a picture, I put it on social media. See, contentment factor. But problem is, same thing with being a good beggar. See, this guy was asking for money, very healthy looking guy. Myself and Namit only were coming out of a project.
Okay.
Then the guy said, sir, I said, look, I started a conversation with him. That is philosophy of life. You learn from conversation.
Right.
I said, look, what is your name, Ramana? No, man, you look healthy. Why don't we find you a job? Sir, will you give me or no? I said, why are you? We can employ you. We can pay you. What is the matter? So, give me or no, he started. Then he started yelling at me. You people talk to me and all that. You don't give me anything. What do you? I said, calm down. You are not even a good beggar. I said. He said, why? Because beggars can't get angry.
Yeah.
Once you get angry, you can't be a beggar, man. I told him. So we laughed and came. So I think the issue here is contentment is good. But Aditya, my family also says be content, be content.
Yeah.
But I tell you something which a lot of people don't speak of.
Okay.
We are a very discontent people.
By nature.
Discontentment is what drives me.
Okay.
But I find it may be strange to accept contentment in discontentment.
Okay.
Because if we are content and sitting oneself like that, I'm retired, I'm 70 years old, I am very discontent.
I think complacency steeps in, which is not
Yeah.
good for an entrepreneurial mindset.
No, it is like when people tell, okay, you should just sit down, you should retire. I say, man, permanent retirement is coming. When you are sleeping forever.
Yeah.
You know, nobody is. It is inevitable. Everybody is going to catch on.
Yeah.
But so as you age, actually, you should work harder. You should not sleep more because permanent sleep is coming.
Anyway, it's coming.
It is coming. No, it's getting closer and closer. So you have to be more active. You have to do more things, run more. Do things. Have nice food to eat and meet with family and do your social causes now. Get some fulfillment with all that. But what is this resting business? I don't know. I don't understand. So people tell me, contentment. I say, contentment in discontentment is also you should discuss.
Yeah.
Like I talked about happiness in unhappiness, contentment in discontentment equally important. So there is nothing, as long as you are happy in what you are doing, you are content in that. See, you may be working at a stock market all the time. You may be looking at it. But you are content looking at it. You are maybe a person who wants to drive to build hospitals, or build hotels, whatever it is. You are driven. That doesn't mean you are discontent. Because a person who is discontent is one who is always unhappy about it. What is this I have to do? I have to get up in the morning, build all these hospitals, build this. Why am I doing? Who is asking you to do, man? Go and sleep. So find your contentment there. So that is discontentment.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
But a man who gets up in the morning and says, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to build up. I've great pleasure in making a night resort or making a hospital. Great pleasure I'm going to take. That man is actually content.
Yes. Yes.
He is not discontent.
Yes.
Because he is driven.
He's driven.
So there is a vast difference between all this. And lot of people don't understand. All these Gurujis and Swamijis are a nuisance value. I will tell you, to the system. Because they bring nuisance to you. They say you have to say, do this, find that satisfaction yourself. What is this? Your own conscience is your keeper.
Yeah.
You just test against your conscience, and conscience is your God. You see, you right and wrong, your conscience knows.
Yeah.
You don't need any Guruji. I have a phrase, please don't rent your conscience to anyone.
Yeah.
Please don't give it to anyone.
Yeah.
See, all these Gurujis, Swamijis take away your conscience and they sit on the top of it and teach you.
Yeah.
Why do you need them? Why do you need to? Okay, you respect them. You get their ideas, you get their value.
Right.
But you be your master.
Yes.
Don't get the master to somebody else.
Yeah.
That is what happened when Hitler ruled, when all these people like Swamijis rule, all these autocrats rule, because we hand over our conscience to them. But if you can keep your conscience to yourself, None of this will happen because you are your master.
Yeah.
But take ideas,
Yes.
take ideas. You read philosophy.
Yeah.
There may be a good guru, tells you certain things. Take.
The
but
mentorship
don't,
is important.
Yeah, but don't become a disciple of them. Don't become a follower blindly. Whatever you say, master, I agree. Whatever you say, master, agree. What is this nonsense? Question the master. Question it.
Yes.
He is not your master.
Yeah.
He is your teacher.
Yeah.
There's a difference between them.
Yes.
So we need to understand this. Probably we can have a detail when we'll bring some people to talk about it, interview them. But this is an interesting topic.
No, I think we should hear more from you.
Because people also talk about God, this, and we can talk about even that because, is there a God? We have to discuss that. And, who is God? Is your own conscious God or is there somebody? So we have to think, man. Think.
Reason, question.
Question. Is it possible? Who you are, what you are. Don't lend your conscious to somebody. Okay? And, this is an important thing which has to be discussed. Because of this blind faith, politicians exploit them to the hilt. They say, God, this temple, I will give you. See, first of all, what business they have giving money, taxpayers' money to temple?
Yeah.
My money, man, you are giving to temple. I don't believe in it. Who the hell are you to give my money? Nobody questions that. Okay? People may disagree, but we should respect. We respect everyone. We are not like believers, non-believers. Everybody should be respected. But it should be dialogued out properly so we can think. And still, if you come to the conclusion, I believe in it, there's nothing wrong. But think through. That is all we are asking.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sure that our listeners have a lot to contemplate. And Yeah. So, Doctor, despite having achieved so much and giving back to the community so much to our motherland, India, so you're still going strong. And you have started this organization called IHDUA, International Human Development and Upliftment Academy, to improve the economic condition of women. And also you have started a school, Vinayaka Jnanashala in Mullur, that's in Mysore, especially to educate the underprivileged children. And also Antardwani, you have set up Antardwani, which is an independent policy think tank, and that's how we have got connected today. So could you please talk about these ventures and how do you envision the impact in the future of these?
See, I believe there is a difference between philanthropy and charity.
Okay.
Charity is something you do because you feel there's a need to help someone. You may want to do a school or a program to help. Philanthropy is social structural change. In order to do philanthropy, you have to understand the people. Right. So both of my school in the rural area was done because people came and said, we need a good education. I said, let me see what comes out of it. That's why I didn't start any more schools. One school, and I've studied the data. Now children from that school are become engineers, scientists, various walks, some remote school. And I learned one thing there in this pilot project. Children are brilliant, whether they're rural or urban. Just that they don't have opportunity. See, what we have to give them is opportunity, like heritage. If I'm born to a wealthy parent, I'm inherited wealth. I go to good school. I go to convents. I get good, even though I may be average student. Whereas what happens to a student who is extraordinarily brilliant in rural, he will also come out, he or she. But those who are not average fall apart. That is why rural unemployment is 40%. So that I learnt through this school. People always say, rural kids, what do they know? But they are brilliant. You've given up. Like in our school, we have children who can become doctors, engineers. Other day I interview, I want to be IAS officer, I want to be IPS. So brilliant, equal. But opposite. Regarding the women program, what I learned, I was doing camps. That is why I started Vinayaka. Regarding the camp, I was doing camps where I learned that women were working 18 hours. Where is the time for going a camp to do a pap smear? I interviewed 150,000 women. Like a madman, I used to come to US. I found out this is ridiculous. Economy, you have to improve their economic status. That is when I started self-help groups, which is now today in over 150 villages. We are now, after making them prosperous, their average earning is 25,000 to 30,000 rupees per month now, which has improved a lot over the last 20 years. Now we are gone into think tank.
Right.
Let us make them leaders.
Yes.
And I learned during the last election that you support a local candidate, people will still go and vote for whoever they want. Lot of issues, caste base, money, all of this. Now we have created this movement, the Antardwani movement, where they are becoming members of the movement, where they have to have strict discipline, and they register as members, take an oath. So we're driving it. We hope someday Sita Lakshmi is here, Rahul. They are all active part of this, very involved. As a Times of India editor, deputy editor, they have joined us. We are all very fortunate to have them. We are driving it to make sure it's another pilot project to show women, children empowerment, bringing them, giving them the self-confidence, job opportunities, and say this is how we can change, and not to go and fall on the feet of any politician. Let them fall at you because you give them the vote. Or any government official, don't call them sir. Everything, go and demand what your rights are. This is what we want to develop there. And in the next few years, you will see a big transformation in that area. And that area will be a pilot project. We are building a big building to create IT there. We will, hopefully you can also come. We can do podcast with women, rare leaders, phenomenal way. Recently we had 3,500 women conclave meeting. They spoke beautifully, very well. So that level of confidence is very high. So we are at maybe an area of transformation at time, and we want to create that kind of a community which stands for the rights and which believes irrespective of caste or creed or economic condition. So we are on the path to that. Hopefully we will succeed. But success and failure is measured in different way. There's nothing like failure in this. So we will see how it goes.
Yes, definitely. This is very much required it's the need of the hour, I would say. For India's growth.
Yes.
Doctor, I know I can speak for all the listeners when I say this, that this has been a fascinating, fantabulous podcast session. And you spoke about wide range of experiences. To be very honest, your life is an inspiration to all of us. And it has actually made me personally feel like I need to, whatever goals that I want to achieve, I can go headstrong and then, fight with a lot of courage. And accept the challenges that come along my way. And also there's always this aspiration to do something for the underprivileged or the less privileged. And definitely with this session that we have had, not just me but even the listeners, definitely there will be a feeling of doing something for the society, contribute to the society. And even if we achieve a fraction of what you have achieved in your life, trust me, it will be a great contribution to India's growth story. Thank you so much for
Thank you,
the podcast, the time.
Thank you.
Thank you.